So the first book is Napalm Lullaby. This one is by Rick Remender and someone who goes by Bengal. And this is from Image Comics. Tell you, Rick Remender can almost do no wrong. I love the stuff that he's done lately, especially the Sacrificers. Now, this one's a little complex, a little bit more complex. This starts back in Nebraska many years ago. And these two activists, these like hardcore, like religious fanatics, you know, they're protesting against God knows what. And then they're driving home and they have almost like a Superman, super baby, not Lois, but the Kent, Martha and Jonathan Kent moment when these mechs just come out of nowhere and start chasing this other mech. And the mech has like a little baby inside of it. And this little baby is a pretty badass mofo because it just like reaches back and even as a child just destroys the mech that are chasing it. And these parents look at each other like, whoa, what have we got here? Must be from the Lord. Of course, that's my first instinct. Like, it must be something that's bound to happen. He sent us a sign. Let's take him home and raise him as our own. So they take him home. 50 years passes. And by this point, the world has just changed a great deal. There's this thug who's going around stealing halos. Okay, he's like killing these I guess priests and taking their halos because these halos are valuable in the black market, I suppose. So, and he's going to take these halos to this person that he's made a deal with to I guess to reimburse him for him. So, and he gets to the place and it's like this brothel, right? And this brothel has got these people watching the door, and he goes in, and it's this elaborate fucking setup. You know, it's just like you couldn't imagine. And this is like very beautiful woman who apparently has got some weird powers, and she's paid him to bring her these halos. But then all of a sudden, like the room disappears. There's a banging on the door, and it turns out this is all like, you know, not CGI, but it's like, Vision Quest shit. You know, this is all like a VR experience. A VR experience, excuse me. Get my eyes and my R's mixed up. So shit goes south. The brothel owner comes in. What the hell is going on? You see two other characters just come out of the blue who has something to do with this whole VR thing going south. And they snatch the halos and head for the parts unknown. So we're not sure what's going on yet, but something has happened in this 50 years since this kid was found, you know, super baby style. And this kid has probably grown up and just turned the world into a different place. And I like what Remender is doing here. You know, it's a little bit more of I would say a slow burn, but a slow reveal with some of the stuff. But man, I like where the indications are showing, and I will definitely pick up the next issue of Napalm Lullaby. Kind of reminds me of this one book called Arsenic Lullaby. Completely different concept, but this is about a witch doctor or something like that, Arsenic Lullaby. But this is about these people experimenting with virtual reality and reality bending. It looks like it could be another winner from Remender. So keep an eye out for that, y'all. Next one.
That was dope. I like that one.
Yeah. Next one. I know some folks didn't care for it. 80s guy. I remember that, you know. Quick pass for you. But this is Helen of Wyndhorn. And this is from my guy, Tom King. And Bilkis Ebele is the artist on here, whose artwork is just phenomenal. This is the Tula Lotte cover that I picked up for this particular one. But this one it's kind of a period piece in a way, because it takes place over, again, a couple of different periods. And it's told through the eyes of this governess who used to work for this rich man whose son was a famous author and whose granddaughter is Helen. So Helen is sent to, or the governess, I should say, is telling her story to this journalist. And she starts where the part where she met Helen, where she goes to fetch her from Texas, of all places, and bring her home to Wyndhorn, the luxurious mansion where her grandfather owns. And Helen is just like sleeping it off in the county shitter. She's like 16 years old. You know, she's just like flat out drunk and, you know, like a 16-year-old female oldest to drunk from Mayberry or some shit. You know, she's just, everyone know, oh, Helen, oh, yeah, Helen's the life of the party. So this very proper governess, Lilith, I believe was her name, Lilith, she takes her to, you know, to take care of her loose ends. And Helen buys a tombstone for her father. I guess she really adored her father, or somehow worshiped her father in some ways. I'm sure there's a lot more to that story than just that. So she buys a tombstone, and Lilith has all kind of money, so you know it's no big deal. And they begin the journey home back to grand old Wyndhorn, which is beautifully illustrated in this book as this plays here. It's just like another character in itself. And Helen is just blown away by this shit. I mean, we don't know her whole story. All we know that she's like a 16-year-old delinquent that drinks too much and smokes a lot. And this is back in, I want to say, like the 40s or whatever. So Helen is like, okay, this is the shit. I want to see everything here. And they give her the grand tour of Wyndhorn, like, this is yours now, my lady. You know, they show her luxurious bedrooms. They show her like these other places that these billiard rooms and stuff. And finally they get to the wine cellar. And Helen's like, yeah, now you're talking, baby. So Helen grabs a bottle, chugs that baby down, grabs 2 more for the road, and they heads off to God knows where in this vast house. And they finally find her sleeping it off in a window seat somewhere in the east wing. So this just continues on and on and on and on, because clearly the girl has a problem. And I love this the chauffeur too. The chauffeur is just this guy named Joseph. He's just this no-nonsense guy. He just does not give a fuck. And the contrast of him as opposed to this very proper governess is something that I think plays well in the story. Eventually, Helen, you know, she runs out of cigs. Hey, you know, I need more cigarettes, baby. Go get me some cigarettes. You're my governess. Like, I will not do that thing because it's an improper way for a young girl to act. So Helen throws a book out the window and shit, but the governess being all prim and proper, just like, oh, tisk, tisk, tisk. What a horrible thing, you know. So she's you can't flap this. She's unflappable. You can't flap this woman. But one night, Helen is like napping, and she always has like weird dreams. And I guess the governess thinks maybe she's just having DTs or something, or she's a fucking hard drinker. But truly, she's always talking about this monster trying to come after her. But this time, there is a monster, and the governess sees it too. And we finally get a look at the master of the house, and that's where it leads off at. Gotta tell you, man, love this book. Love it. This is probably one of my favorite Tom King books since Love Everlasting. He is so good at writing stuff like this. I mean, he's okay at writing Batman and stuff like that, but he is really, really good at writing indie stuff. And this is where he shines. And man, I'm so down with this. It don't make no sense. I don't care if it's a 6-issue, 12-issue series. I want to see where it goes. I want to see the background of Helen. I want to hear about this author who created these Conan-like characters and why there are monsters living on the property of Wyndhorn Place. Helen of Wyndhorn, love it. Pick it up. That's all I gotta say. That's all I have to say.
Name a bigger Tom King fan. I'll wait.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I can't argue with you. I mean, you know, it is what it is, you know. He won me over.
He did. I'm saying that's why it's funny, is because when I first came to this channel, we were not fans of Tom King around here.
No. Well, I just finished Rorschach, and I was kind of disappointed on that one too. But he's more than redeemed himself lately. So go Tom King. Last book is Little Black Book. This one is written by Kevin McComsky, I want to say, and last name Kuna, whose name escapes me, but McComsky and Kuna. I'll put it down there later somewhere. This one is awesome. This is from AWA, and let me tell you the premise on that one. Little Black Book. It also, for some reason, starts in New London, Texas. Shout out Texas for this episode. And these folks, it's the guy and his wife, this pregnant wife, sitting around drinking beers. It's so very King of the Hill too. Like, yep, sitting around drinking beers, talking about the names of the baby that's going to come up next month. So we're just going through that, and this guy drives up, and it's this fancy, kind of a Cadillac car. This brother gets out with a Colonel Sanders tie and everything. He said, "Hey, you wouldn't be Mr. So-and-so, would you?" "Yes, sir, it would be Mr. So-and-so. So, hey, just some bad news for you. Your daddy just died yesterday in a house fire." He was like, "All right, what else you got?" But he left you a house. Oh, like, fuck that house. If you didn't communicate with me for decades, now he leaves me a house. And the wife's like, "You better take that goddamn house. Have you seen my belly?" So the guy offers him a pen. He's like, "You need a pen, son. Sign it." So 2 weeks later, they're moving to Yuma, Arizona. Standing on the corner in Yuma, Arizona. Oh, anyway, they move on up like George and Wheezy to Arizona, right, to this nice big house his daddy left him. He's doing some work in the house. A couple of weeks later, he finds this secret compartment in the roof where there's a little black book. It's got all kinds of stuff like cleaners and stuff like that in different cities. So either his daddy was very meticulous about his suits, or his daddy this was not about cleaners. This was about gangsters, which it totally is. And they figured out what it was. A few weeks later, his wife gives him a call. "Baby, I'm in trouble. I just ran somebody over." He's like, "The baby okay? Are you okay?" So he digs out, for some reason, he thinks as he goes to pick her up, he digs out the black book. He makes the call. He calls the cleaner in the black book. And they meet her and him at the spot of the accident, and they take care of the shit for him. And they after it's over with, dude's like, "Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to pay for this." "Not to worry, bruh. We'll just bill the usual account." We have no idea what the usual account is, but this kind of stuff comes with consequences. On the way home, they're driving past a red light and they see a poster for the missing woman. So some shit's going to be happening. Hell's going to be coming to breakfast at some point for these folks, because you don't just get this stuff done. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction and all that jazz. So you don't just get this kind of favors done for you. So we're going to find out just exactly what the consequences of having this little black book is going to be in the future. Like this book a lot too. Off to a great start. God, AWA, man, they keep nailing it. Another great week for indie comic books, man. So that's all I've got. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.